Authorities urging owners of vacant land to remain on guard and to check their property records as the FBI has reported a 500% increase in vacant land fraud over the last 4 years. This couple, one of the latest victims. 20 acres of land along Olive Chapel Road in Apex, land that has been in Bob Kelly's family since the 1800s.
My grandmother was born in 1887, so it's been there a long time in our name.
Bob no longer lives on the property as he and his wife moved to a retirement community, but they've held on to the 20 acres. Out of the blue, Bob got a call from the man who lives next to the property.
Are you selling your property? You know I wouldn't sell my property. He said, well, there's 2 for sale signs on it.
Bob says he contacted the realtor whose name was on the for sale sign.
He said, yeah, it's a beautiful piece of property. It's got 20 acres there for sale. And I said, well, sir, let me tell you, that property belongs to me, and you are not authorized to sell it. And I'm headed there now to take your for sale signs down.
Bob says he also wanted answers as to how this realtor could list his property for sale.
He said there was a couple in Tennessee that called him and asked him to list it. I made a mistake by listing the property without ever getting any identification, and I will fix that.
The listing was taken down, but Bob says he learned in the 24 hours his property was listed for sale, there were already 5 offers on his property.
It is very scary. It is very scary.
A complaint was filed with the North Carolina Real Estate Commission. I reached out to the realtor who listed the property and also the Real Estate Commission, but they did not get back to me. The Real Estate Commission did tell Bob they investigated the complaint and provided these records to him, which include this email from the realtor in response to the investigation, who stated he's been a realtor since 2007 with no history of complaints. He wrote in part that a scammer impersonated the owners, created emails using the real owners' first and last names. When he had requested an in-person meeting, they claimed to be in the hospital and were unable to meet. The realtor did have this signed listing agreement with the scammers. He also claims he did not send any offers to the scammers as they failed to provide 2 forms of a photo ID. After investigating, the North Carolina Real Estate Commission did not pursue disciplinary actions against the realtor, but in this letter stated they caution him to use greater care in the future when listing property without face-to-face contact with the owners. Bob is speaking out to make sure others know they need to be vigilant if they own any property.
One thing we're doing now is at least once a month, we're checking with Wake County tax records to see if there's any activity against our property.
And to protect your property, do as Bob said, check on it often. Also check with your county register of deeds office to see if you can sign up for fraud alerts.